Hello, good morning, and welcome to Elevenses. My name's Hannah, and I'm an account strategist in the UKI agency team, and I'm joined by Tim.
Hi, everyone. My name's Tim. I'm an account manager on the UKI high touch team. I am French, though, and very much celebrating the fact that France is in the final. Hopefully, England will be joining us tonight.
Yeah, fingers crossed. So we know that finding your customer is more than difficult than ever. Customers now are very connected, very savvy, and have more options than ever before. So it means that us as marketeers need to develop new ways in which to reach those customers. So Tim and I are going to talk to you today about how to create an advanced audience strategy to do just that. It's going to be the first part in a two-part series focusing on advanced strategies. So the next one's going to be on automation in 2 weeks' time. So make sure you tune in for that.
Perfect.
So if you've been following Elevenses this year, you'll have noticed a really strong focus on the 4 A's. So that's assets, automation, attribution, and audience. Now, if you've taken the learnings from the Elevenses series, you'll already have a really strong audience strategy in place. So that would be RLSA, so remarketing, RLSA and remarketing. So that's re-engaging with people that have already been to your site or already bought from you before. And also similar audiences. So that's where we're finding new customers that are like your existing customers. Now, when it comes to planning your audience strategy, this slide here is really helpful in doing so. So what you can do is reflect on your audience strategy in the past and what you're currently doing and plot that into now. So ideally, that would be RLSA and similar audiences. And then we want to look at what we're going to be doing next, so within the next few weeks, and then later, which is in the next few months. And hopefully at the end of this Elevenses session, you can take the learnings and put that into this slide here.
So to kick things off, we just wanted to show you guys this, which is an image from a book that I used to read a lot when I was a child, which is Where's Wally? And I want everyone to think about how this kind of represents the whole of the internet, the whole of people who are searching out there within your target markets. And essentially today, what we're going to be looking at is how can we make sure that we can find your Wally? How can we make sure that within the vast amounts of information and intent and signals and data that is out there, how can we make sure to utilize the ones that are best for you? So don't know if you've noticed him, but Wally is right there in the top right-hand side. So really think about this photo in the next couple of minutes as we take you through this knowing your audience piece.
So moving from Wally to the marketing funnel, this funnel here is something I'm sure you've all seen many times before, but essentially what it shows is the funnel to the customer's journey, to the point of purchase. So if we take a look at the top of the funnel, so this is expand. So this is where we want to find new customers. The next stage is then capture, so that's connecting with people that are interested in your product. And final stage there is re-engage, so that's engaging with people that have either been to your site before or bought from you before. Now, just to touch on the basics of each of these, and then Tim and I are going to go into the more advanced steps later on. So when it comes to expand, we want to have affinity or custom affinity audiences applied. So if you're a sports retailer, you want to target sports enthusiasts. When it comes to capture, that's when we want to have similar audiences. So that's finding similar customers to the ones you currently have. And then re-engage. So that would be through the likes of remarketing, RLSA, or customer match.
So let's kick things off by looking at how we can really know your audience. So the simple linear journey has changed, and today's consumer enjoys a really rich shopping experience, expecting choice and an immersive experience both online and offline. Customers engage with your business in multiple different ways and move more than ever, expect that transition between these connections to seem seamless. This may mean that designing an audience strategy becomes more complex, but the benefit of these touch points is really obvious. We now have more insights than ever before into our customers' intent, into our customers' needs, and into our customers' expectations. So as you can see here, organizations that leverage customer behavioral insights outperform peers by 85% in sales growth and 25% in gross margin. So these are pretty kind of hefty numbers and pretty considerable numbers. But it really is true. Organizations that have access to these great insights from their customers are going to be able to utilize these insights to drive immense value for their businesses while also improving their customer experiences. And so if you're able to leverage these insights in the right way, you'll be able to have this new competitive advantage.
So moving from your audience to your customer. So no one knows your customer more than you do. You know who they are and what they want. And knowing what a customer wants, what their intent is such a powerful signal. And that's something we should really be leveraging in advanced audience strategies. So when it comes to the customer's intent, we need to look beyond the demographics. So that's things like age and gender, looking beyond the transaction, so what they've purchased, and beyond the keyword. Now, whilst these are all really vital signals and something we should be bearing in mind for audience, when it comes to audience's intent, we need to look beyond those. So why? Why is intent so important? Well, intent means that we can target the right person at the right time with the right message, which then means we're turning that person into your customer. So here on the screen, we've got two people. We've got Prince Charles on the left and Ozzy Osbourne on the right. So Tim, can you tell me any similarities you think these two have?
So they're both English.
Yeah.
They're both very rich.
Mm-hmm.
That's about all I can see between them.
Yeah, so you're totally right. They're both English, they're both wealthy, they're both actually 69 and born in winter, and they've both been married twice before. So, Tim, with these two, do you think they want the same things?
Probably not, no.
Exactly. So whilst on paper these two might seem very similar, they're actually not at all. And they both want very, very different things. And that's why intent is so crucial and is more important than identity.
So coming back to the funnel, we really want to make sure that we really focus on that expand and capture phase for you today. You know, we've spoken a bit about the re-engage phase, but in the capture and expand phase, that's where you're going to be really able to take kind of your customer knowledge to the next step. So in the capture phase, you're going to be able to capture that live demand using signals of intent that show you that a person is currently in the market to buy your products. And then in that expand phase, you're going to be able to find new potential customers for your business based on who they are or their browsing habits. So this is kind of focusing on who should be your customer or who could be, your customer.
Brilliant. So now let's look at how to find new customers. So the first place we should be looking is your own data. So things like your sales data or your CRM data is really, really valuable. For example, if you're a travel agent and you're noticing bookings are increasing for holidays to Greece this year, then what we could do is create an audience list where you're targeting people who are in the market for traveling to Greece. Or you could use your CRM data and use the emails of existing customers to target them with ads. You can now also do similar audiences for customer match. So there's more and more ways to reach new customers. The second approach is to then look within the AdWords account. So if you haven't used this tool before, I'd really, really urge you to look at the Audience Insights report within AdWords. It's a very powerful tool, and what it does is it looks at your current remarketing lists and identifies the interest and intent of the people in there, the demographics, the devices they're on, and finds similar audiences. So again, this is a really, really rich data source of insights, and this married with your own data is great to leverage in an audience strategy.
So now if we're going to focus on that expand, the capture and the re-engage phase, let's start with the expand phase. So here it's all about finding those more than just users, but those passionate users. So in order to find those passionate users, we're going to be looking at three things. 1, affinity audiences. 2, life events, and 3, consumer patterns. Affinity audiences, to start off, will help you to connect with people who have a passion for certain topics. So for example, if you are a fashion retailer, why not try to connect with fashionistas and convince them of your brand? For life events, you can here target people who are in moments of what we call transition. So for example, if you're a company that's working in the wedding industry, why not target people that are getting married? Like my good friend, Tom, who will be getting married very, very soon. And then finally, we have the consumer patterns, where this will enable you to connect with people that have certain patterns. So for example, if you know that your audience likes eating at restaurants, you can segment the dining out frequently consumer patterns. So for events such as Wimbledon, for example, which we're currently going through, or university clearing, which is going to be taking place faster than we think, or even the back to school period, and even summer festivals, these opportunities are going to be great to get those extra users and target people who we thought potentially would not be in our scope. Moving on to the capture phase, here it's all about finding users, as Hannah talked about, with intent. We want to make sure that we connect with those customers that are ready to purchase, such as, for example, in-market audiences, custom intent audiences, and then similar audiences. So for the in-market audiences, which as we can see is now launched on search, this will allow you to connect with customers that are currently in the market for products. So we have over 150 audiences available. So an example is that I recently broke my phone. I'm suddenly in the market for a new phone because that's things that I've been researching quite heavily over the past couple of days. For custom intent audiences, this is really if you can't find the right in-market audience for your products. So then what you're going to do is you're going to consider creating your own custom intent audience. So you can use this to target specific keywords, or you can use this even to target specific URLs that you feel that people that you're actively looking for are going to be interested in. So in terms of similar audiences, as we've kind of covered before, those are going to be based off of the remarketing list or CRM database who haven't been to your site before, and that are like the users that already are purchasing from you. And then finally, in the re-engage phase, we have help your clients find you. So this is, as we briefly touched about, going to be mainly through the remarketing list for search ads, also known as RLSA, which you can create through AdWords, or you can create through Google Analytics. And then we have the customer match, which is going to be helping you guys use your customer data to target existing customers.
Great. So now we've covered finding your customer, the importance of intent, and the ways in which to go about targeting them. Tim and I have gone through quite a few new audience features there as well. So there's a lot for you guys to think about. What we'd recommend doing is looking through it all and then creating your own audience blueprint, your own audience strategy. So then going back to the funnel here, you can identify which stages of the funnel are important to you and how you're going to go about targeting your audiences at each stage. I'd also encourage you to go back to the slide we went through at the start, which is the now, next, and later. And in there, you can reflect on what you've been previously doing and what you're doing now and what you want to include in your future audience strategy.
So finally, coming back, and this is to conclude, to our Where's Wally example, we now have here an even more complex photo where Wally's going to be even harder to find, but with what we've kind of demonstrated and what we've shown you today, you should have the best tools and a full toolkit in order for you guys to be able to find your Wally and to be in a situation where not only you can re-engage with with your existing customers, but you can also capture and expand your audiences. So for those who've been actively looking at their screen now, Wally is very hard to find, but he is right here on, same again, the top right-hand corner. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. The next episode will be in 2 weeks' time, same day, same hour. And we look forward to having you guys tune in next time. Thank you so much.
Bye.